The silver anniversary celebration of the 1972 Miami Dolphins paid homage to perhaps the greatest single-season team achievement in NFL history.
I think the best way to think about the perfect season is to understand the fact that nobody's ever done it before and nobody's done it since then. And there have been a lot of good teams in this National Football League before the perfect season and since the perfect season. And so I'm very, very proud of that accomplishment.
Yet, ironically, the most enduring image from Miami's perfect season was this paragon of imperfection by Garo Yepremian.
The kick is blocked, rolling loose on the field. It is picked up by Garo. He tries to throw a pass, deflected in the air, grabbed by Bass. He's going to score. Touchdown. And the Washington specialty teams get their club on the board. And
Garo got famous, a lot of notoriety from that terrible pass that he threw. And right now he's one of my closest friends, but at that moment, at that particular moment, I wanted to choke him.
The 72 Dolphins have had to overcome more than just that infamous blooper. Even with their 17-0 record, Miami is seldom ranked among the top NFL teams of all time. They've spent a quarter century trying to convince historians of their greatness, with only mixed results. The harshest blow came in 1989, when a computer-based series of imaginary games spit out results that infuriated all of the Dolphins.
We've got a computer idea. We're going to play the Dolphins against the Steelers. And then the Steelers win. But they had lost. But they win against a team that never lost.
Shaw spins, gives to Harris at the far. He's out! The Steelers defeat the Miami Dolphins to win the 3-0.
When the teams are talked about, the truly great teams in pro football, you hear the Packers of the 60s first, if not the Steelers of the mid-70s to late 70s. Maybe the Chicago Bears of another era, and maybe as a side like the Miami Dolphins. So I guess we are the kind of Rodney Dangerfield of the great Super Bowl champions.
You know, I look back at our team and wonder at times why we didn't receive that credit. Yeah, I've been asked why. I've got a lot of thoughts on it. We were down here in Miami, a long way from the media centers of the United States, and I don't think we got a lot of play outside of this local area.
You know, they had a perfect record, and they darn near played the game perfectly. I mean, they didn't dominate. They didn't physically, you know, like some, having that big, strong, you know, boom, Miami didn't do that. That they just did everything right.
Rather than beat up their opponents, the defense built by assistant coach Bill Arnsparger was more technically proficient. Strategic perfection without excessive violence.
Everybody adjusted correctly. No one was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And when you do that, I mean, you're going to win a lot of football games. Arnsparger went through every single play of the entire year, and he said it was the most remarkable thing that he ever saw, that a defense could only make 13 mental mistakes in a whole year.
Such machine-like precision extended to a ground-oriented offense that completed, on average, only 10 passes per game.
The offense was not a flashy, big play type of offense. In fact, the offense was more of a type of offense that controlled the ball, kept the other team's offense off the field, and really protected our defense. It was monotonous, it was boring. We just ran right through everybody and just marched down the field and scored. But it worked.
The Dolphins won each of their 3 playoff games by only a touchdown or less, and occasionally struggled against unimposing regular season opposition.
At that point in time, we were not fallible. We had a couple of teams that shouldn't even have been playing in the same league with us that year, and they were the teams that really gave us the worst go-around. I don't think physically or speed or any of all the different criteria that go into the great teams in the NFL, I don't think we were particularly strong anywhere. We were smart. The ability to not make the mistakes, not to beat yourself. It is increasingly more difficult as the season gets longer for anyone to ever go undefeated again. For anyone to achieve perfection or just tie perfection by doing it over. And I think it's kind of lost as an objective because it's so remote. And there's only one team that ever comes up continuously. It's nice to be a ghost in the NFL's craw and come up every year. It's kind of fun. You know, I enjoy it.
The Dolphins have won Super Bowl VII and completed the greatest season in NFL history.
In Super Bowl VII, the 1972 Miami Dolphins collided headfirst with destiny, defeating the Washington Redskins to secure the first and only undefeated season in NFL history. Ironically, Miami's greatest victory came nearly a year to the day following its greatest defeat. In Super Bowl VI, the Dallas Cowboys humiliated the inexperienced Dolphins, dominating Miami 24-3 in a game that left an indelible impression on the Dolphins' young team.
We were so excited to be there in the Super Bowl, I think we forgot about the game. We weren't focused enough.
We took a great lesson from that. Everybody to a man dedicated himself not only to get back to a Super Bowl, but to win it.
The next year, Miami returned to training camp more mature and determined to make amends for the Dallas debacle.
We had to play like the only redemption that could be possible would be to go back and relive the opportunity to redeem ourselves in the last game that you play of the year.
The Dolphins did not seek perfection. Nevertheless, their style of play yielded that result. Led by an offense that finished first in the NFL in total points scored, Miami performed each week with an intense sense of commitment to reaching team goals.
We were so focused and so intent on proving that we were better than the year before that we got a little icing on the cake, which represents 17-0.
How you doing, Earl? Nice to meet you, man.
30 years following that incredible season, Miami remains a close-knit group. One no longer tied together by the need to prove itself, but rather by the desire to reunite regularly to celebrate its achievement.
Well, you know, we are a unique team that had that tremendous accomplishment, and I think that that's brought us closer together. This team is really bonded together, and the fact that we get resurrected every year when somebody goes 6-0 or 7-0, they talk about the 72 Dolphins.
Often, such discussions fail to properly recognize a defense that complemented its offense by being ranked first in the league. Despite their impressive credentials, the 1972 Miami Dolphins are not usually mentioned near the top in any list of the NFL's greatest teams.
When people from Pittsburgh or San Francisco or Green Bay or Chicago talk about how their team was better than the 72 Dolphins, I kind of get a kick out of it. It doesn't really piss me off. It kind of pleases me that they're the ones that are placing the argument on the table. That means they feel a need to argue.
In a league now governed by parity, there is little debate concerning the improbability of anyone duplicating Miami's accomplishment. The perfect season is not likely to happen again anytime soon. But it is a guarantee that the members of the 72 Dolphins will continue to gather each year for a commemorative toast to honor their season.
We're proud of that record. You know, and the toast is really toasting the fact that the record is still a record for another year.
The longer it goes, the more special it becomes. We want to keep it ours. I'd like to get it through at least the first 100 years of the NFL. Then, you know, think about letting somebody else do it.